Hello puppies! You are welcome to General Studies class. I am Uncle Popo. Our subject for today is Social Studies. Before we start today's lesson, let's start the usual way we open our lesson. Uncle Popo is here. I am also here. We are here together, 100% attention. Good. You have promised to give me 100% of your attention. So listen attentively to the topic we are going to teach today. Our topic for today is still under drug abuse. In our last lesson, we discussed about drug abuse, effects of drug use, and effects of excessive drug use, and so on. Today, we still continue on drug abuse. Let's look at what we have for today. Our learning objectives for today. By the end of the lesson, you should be able to list registered and unregistered sources of drug supply. List registered and unregistered sources of drug supply. Secondly, you identify symptoms of drug abuse. Third one, identify ways to prevent drug abuse. Now, we want to check the registered sources of drug supply. What do we mean by registered sources of drug supply? They are the drugs that government or authority authorize, permit to be released from them to the public. That means the source, the way, the means through which drugs come from a certain authorized body to the populace. Let's check them. We have the pharmaceutical industries. Pharmaceutical industries. In pharmaceutical industry, they produce these drugs we are talking about. And from them, the populace, the people in our street, in our community, can get the drugs. They are authorized to do so. Hospitals. All of us are aware of hospitals around us. You've been to hospitals before. It's also a recognized place where drugs could be gotten and people could use. They recommend and they give you adequate and proper drugs to use for certain treatment. Now, unregistered sources of drug supply. Unregistered sources of drug supply. These are the people that are not authorized, that are not permitted to sell or release drugs to the public, but people still go ahead to buy drugs from them. Who are they? Let's check. Traditional medicine establishments. Traditional medicine establishments. We have some traditional medicine establishments that are not authorized, that are not permitted to give drugs to the people, but they produce it and people still patronize those drugs. And it is not good for our health. Let's check another one. This is herb sellers. You have been seeing them around. Look at the picture here. In Yoruba, they call them alagbo or oniparaga. So you have been seeing them around bus stop, hawking everywhere, and people still patronize them to take paraga or take hot drink. They are not authorized. It is unregistered source of drug supply. Supermarket and provision sellers. It is only here in this country that you see provision shops selling drugs. It is not right at all. At supermarket, at provision stores, they are not supposed to be selling drugs. But we see it here, but it is not right. Beer parlor. Even at beer parlor, we have some drugs that people buy from there. Some will even mix it to their drink and make them behave abnormally. So beer parlor too is not authorized. Roadside hawkers. We have some people that sell drugs around the street. They sell drugs in the bars, even everywhere. They are not authorized, and at times they will recommend some drugs for you. They are not professionals to do so. They are not even authorized to sell drugs, and people should not patronize them. But as it is, roadside hawkers is also unregistered source of drug supply. Now, let's check the symptoms of abuse of drugs. Symptoms of abuse of drugs. You have been told about cocaine and heroin before. And anybody using cocaine or heroin, they have some certain attitude or behavior they will put on. Let's check those attitudes. Tiny puppies. Puppy here is not regarding to you as a learner, or it's not regarding to somebody, it's not referring to you as a learner. We are talking about the tiny hole in your eyes. You can see the picture here, tiny pupils. Anybody using cocaine, it's very easy to identify them. After they have taken the cocaine, their eyes will be very red, that you will be looking at something has happened to this boy or to this girl. Another symptom is abnormal or excessive happiness. Abnormal or excessive happiness. A cocaine user, they put up abnormal or excessive happiness. Watch me and see the kind of abnormal or excessive happiness I'm talking about. Look at it. You can see? And I know at home you are also looking at what is happening. Yes, that's one of the symptoms of cocaine user. You just be wondering what is happening to him or her. Why is he doing like that? So that's a symptom. Another symptom is pains and shivering when not on the drug. Pain and shivering when not on the drug. Because they are addicted to the drugs. So anytime they don't use the drug, they don't get their body right. Anytime they don't see the drug to use, they are not normal. And they can go extra mile to get the drugs by force. They put up the attitude or behavior like this. Watch me. Pains and shivering when not on drug like this. Good. From here too, you are also saying that what is happening to this man or to this boy is just because he has not got the drug to use. That's another symptom. The next one is the sedative drugs or alcohol users. Sedative drugs are drugs that you use that makes your body calm. It makes your body calm unnecessarily. It's not normal this time. And the alcohol users, those that drink alcohol drinks. Let's look at their symptoms. A drunken behavior without smell of drink. Somebody that uses sedative drug will behave abnormally, but you won't perceive the smell of drink. That's the drunken behavior. I will show you the drunken behavior now in the next one. And the next symptom is drunken behavior with smell of drink. That's those that take up alcohol drinks. I think you have seen some of them. Maybe you watch on the television or you see them in the street. They put up some behavior that are not normal. Just watch and see the kind of behavior I'm talking about. Drunken behavior. You see them do like this. Oh, I will enjoy my life. Nobody can stop me. You are laughing at me. You think I don't know what I'm doing. I know. See, to confirm, this is the key to my house. I will open the room and enjoy myself again. Good. You can see that such a person has lost the control of himself. He was just saying nonsense. That's another symptom. Tremors or convulsion when not on the drug. You see, some of them, their body will start shaking when they have no access to the drug to use. They start shaking unnecessarily and they won't become normal. That's the symptom of it. Let's look at the primary source of help to those with drug abuse problems. Primary sources of help to those with drug abuse problems. We cannot deny the fact that we may have people that have this kind of problem. Then what are the way out for them? One, it is the duty of everyone to ensure that victims of drug abuse are counseled, treated, and helped to live their normal lives. That means they need counseling. They just need to be counseled and be corrected. The second one is critical cases of drug abuse are normally treated in psychiatric hospitals or rehabilitation centers where they undergo series of treatment, counseling, and and rehabilitation. At times, it will have gone worse, that the person will be behaving abnormally or go crazy or about to go crazy. So such people like that will need to be taken to psychiatric hospitals or rehabilitation centers to correct them and bring them back to normal. Next is the community also has a duty to help the victims. Religious institutions like churches, mosques should also teach good behavior so that they won't indulge in drug abuse. Next is teachers should regularly advise young people against hard drugs. Like this kind of teaching is a means to really correct you and let you know the danger in abuse of drug. And we have medical centers and school clinics should also help through treatment and counseling. They are also in charge to help out in case you have somebody with that problem. What are the ways to prevent drug abuse? In what ways can we prevent drug abuse? One, develop positive health behavior and life-saving skills. Developing positive health behavior and life-saving skills. That means you put up activities or behavior that will not lure you to use hard drug. The next one is performing regular exercises. If you perform regular exercises, it will help your body, it will keep you fit, and you will not need to use drug to make you active. The next is involving yourself in constructive play. You just have to do away with anything that can lure you to use drug. Next is involving yourself in constructive relationship with others. You must have a way to relate with people. You don't have bad friends that can lure you to use drug. Avoidance of harmful drugs. Anything harmful, anything that will cause you problem, that will make you behave abnormally, you don't use it. Like here, Federal Ministry of Health warns that smokers are liable to die young, but people still go ahead to use it. So you don't do that. More discrimination in what is consumed and in choice of friends. You take note of what you want to eat, and you take note of the friends that you go away with. And now let's check the governmental organization concerned with drug law and enforcement in Nigeria. These drugs we are talking about, we have a body that is in charge that arrests anybody that sell drug unlawfully or that traffic drugs. The body is NDLEA. And what is that? That's National, say that, Drug Law Enforcement Agency. That's National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. It's a federal agency charged with eliminating the growing, processing, manufacturing, selling, exporting, and trafficking of hard drugs in Nigeria. All the duties of NDLEA is here. They make sure that they don't allow growing of drugs, processing of it, manufacturing it unlawfully, selling, exporting, and trafficking of hard drugs, or trafficking of hard drugs in Nigeria. That's the duty of NDLEA. Today, we have successfully talked about the registered source of drugs, and we mentioned pharmaceutical industries, hospitals, unregistered sources of drugs, the herb sellers, the roadside hawkers. We've also talked and showed you the cocaine or heroin users, the kind of behavior they put up after using the drugs. We've successfully talked about some ways to prevent drug abuse. So, that is all what we have for you today, but that's not the end. Let me check you and see how you have listened attentively to today's lesson. This is evaluation. Look at this question, just supply your answers. Your time starts now. Welcome back. Now let's check the answer and see how you have performed. Unregistered sources of drug supply, you have many of them. See, check the answers and mark it to yourself. If you have done well, I give you cheers. We have come to the end of today's lesson. But before you go, let me briefly give you assignment that you are going to do for me. The assignment is this. Write 3 reasons why you should not involve in the use of hard drug. Write 3 reasons why you should not involve in the use of hard drugs. I still remain Uncle Popo. Thank you. God bless you.